And we are live. Good to see everybody. It is now March 26, 2024. It is 5:47 p.m. Pacific time here in Las Vegas, Nevada. How is everybody doing? Yes, it is the Sultan of Silicon, according to Tech Odyssey, our good friend or the friend of the channel who has a great channel himself. If you're not already subscribed to Tech Odyssey, you I don't know what's wrong with you. Maybe you have to have your head examined. Great channel, good friend. Check it out. He's a great guy. So good to see you here. Larger than life. Yes, I am the Sultan of Silicon, and I like that. That's a great, I'm going to give credit to him for coining that term. That's an amazing, I like that a lot. It's very funny. Good to see Raphael here. Good to see Ali. He likes the design of what we're about to see. Good to see Fenton. We got PK here. Good to see you, my friend. All right. Good to see Bruce Wayne, all the way from the Bat Cave. All right, so what do we have here? We got the Dell XPS 14 here, and it is all the way from Austin, Texas. Yes, it came from Texas. It is a one that we wanted to get in. Now, I already did the XPS 16 here, and that, of course, is I liked it a lot. I know some people are not crazy about the design. I think it's a futuristic, it's a modern look, it's sleek, it's minimalist. I like it. I'm a personal fan of the design. I have the one here today. It's going to be in which color? The graphite. So we'll switch it up a little bit. I looked at the platinum. We're going to see the graphite, the darker color, and then we are going to get it out of the box. We're going to see exactly what we can expect from it. Again, this is a big deal for Dell this year, so hopefully they'll see good results out of it. I saw excellent battery life out of the XPS 16. Hopefully we'll see similar results, hopefully, in this one. Of course, I still have to do all my testing. Now, we got Raphael here. I said hello. Dylan. We got Terminal SOS. We saw Tech Odyssey. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend in the flesh here, folks, in the flesh. Yeah, we need some merch, and we need to coin that. I like the way you coined that term, the Sultan of Silicon. All right. All right. Learn English with Moby's here. Good to see you. 4:15 a.m. Yeah, sorry about the time, folks. Outside the U.S., I know it's hard. This is just the only time I can do it. Just Josh liked this laptop a lot. Okay. If you haven't seen Josh's video on it, he did the XPS 14 and the 16 already. It is on fire, so check it out if you haven't already done so. Westerosi Ninja is here. We've got Anthony here. We got a pretty good turnout. We've got Curleen here. All right. and Aesthetic Me. All right, so we have about 80 of you already, a good turnout so far. Let's get the specs onto the stream here. So we're looking at the Dell XPS 14, the 9440. This is going to have that 14.5-inch, 3.2K display, OLED, of course. It's called the Infinity Edge Touch Display. It's a 400 nit display. It's got variable refresh rate. This is something new this year, 48 to 120, so up to 120 hertz. Dolby Vision, Intel Core Ultra 7 processor, the 155H. The Intel Arc graphics are obviously, you can get it with the Intel Arc graphics, but I think a lot of you are going to opt for the discrete graphics, which of course is the RTX 4050. Now, it's not going to be a powerhouse in terms of graphics, but it will give you a graphics boost. It's only got 30 watts according to this, so we'll test all that out in the upcoming review as well. We're going to do some testing today. You can get this with up to 64 gigabytes of the very fast LP DDR5X RAM running at 7467. That's always fast. You can do up to 4 terabytes of storage. It's not going to be cheap, but it is cheaper. I checked. It is cheaper than the MacBook Air. That's for sure, as far as price to the ratio to the storage. And then 70 watt hour battery. We've got killer Wi-Fi 6E. I'm not sure why it's not killer Wi-Fi 7 like we saw on the 16-inch. And then Bluetooth 5.3. Moving right along here. Sorry, I hit the wrong button there. Moving right along, there's the pricing, but we'll get to the pricing in a moment. I want to get to the size here. So the size here, as far as the weight, I should say, they're saying it is 3.8 pounds or 1.74 kilograms. We'll get a measurement of our own weight, of course. Full HD camera here, 1080p, which is an upgrade over last year. It's got an IR camera. They were able to fit it into that small bezel, so that's going to give you Windows Hello login. There's a fingerprint scanner as well. The power button doubles as that fingerprint scanner. Quad speakers here, 8 watts of total power. Graphite is the one we have here. It also comes in the platinum. We looked at the platinum on the XPS 16. And then, of course, we have the 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports. We'll take a look at all the ports, as well as the micro SD card reader and a headphone jack. And they give you the adapter. Okay, we'll take a look at all that. Price is $23.99 as configured. And by the way, let's take a look at this. This is actually less than what it was originally offered. I noticed on the website it's about a few $100 actually less. It now starts at $14.99. And that's for the Full HD Plus display. It has gone down as well as the 3.2K OLED display is what we have, $23.99. So that's a big jump. It went down, actually. So they lowered the price, which I think was necessary. Same could be said of the XPS 16, $16.99 starting price. It's now down to $28.99. The one we looked at was, I think, $3,400. It's now down to $2,900. So that's a big jump downwards and a positive sign for sure. And of course, you can head on over to Dell's website. I have links for everything. They're affiliate links. You can check it out. $23.99, a little bit more palatable. And there's the internals of it. It does have upgradable storage, something the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro do not have. I just wanted to point that out because I'm getting a lot of flack from the review I did on the MacBook Air. So all the Apple fanboys took it very personally that I felt that that was a big ripoff. That was a big ripoff. $600 to pay for a upgrade in the SSD for 2 terabytes, $600. You could actually get the Asus ZenBook 14X OLED for about $600 now. So, that's hard to justify. Anyway, you see the review, you'll see what I'm talking about. I like Apple. I have no problem against their products. I use the MacBook Pro, the 14, pretty much on a daily basis. So, yeah, Anthony, I was pissed. I was a little pissed. And of course, Josh, had to happen, the price reduction. Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. And I said in my video as well, it was too expensive. But of course, it's always like that, right? Whenever these brands release new products, especially with a refresh, redesign, they reduce the price. Here, this is a pretty nice reduction. So it's a little bit more palatable. And hopefully this will be good. All right, we got a good crowd here. We have over 100 of you watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. Let's get this spread out over YouTube. So without further ado, you know the drill, folks. Let's get this out of the box. Okay, so this is typical packaging we've seen before. So let's just move right along here. Nothing here. I don't think there's anything else. Boom. Let's get rid of this box. Here's the XPS box over here. Let's lift this tab over here. Boom. Okay. Welcome to Dell. Let's do great things together. We'll see. All right. Right off the bat, we get some documentation. All right. You can see it here. This is the paperwork, of course. We've seen this a million times already. Let's just see what this is. This is a XPS 14 9440. Is this getting in focus? Hopefully it is. And I don't know, regulatory information, yada, yada, yada. And you know the drill on that. So let's put that to the side. Okay. And wrong button as usual. Okay, let's put this to the side. Boom. All right, we got the little, you know what, this little adapter here, this little hub. And this one is going to give you HDMI. It's going to give you USB-A. And it flips out as far as USB-C. It'll give you that connection there. Let me just get all this plastic off here. Boom, boom. And here we go. This pops out, if I can get a grab of it. And as you can see, this is the hub, and that gives you some of the missing ports. You know, say what you want. They do include that in the box, so that's a good sign. I mean, look, Apple doesn't give you anything in their box. You're lucky to even get an adapter. So this is the power cord. We've seen that a million times, and a pretty compact adapter here. In fact, this is 100 watts, right? So USB Type-C, 100-watt adapter. And that is obviously very compact. We're going to keep this out. We're going to keep it for our measurement of the weight. And we're going to get this one as well. Let's take this off as well. And that is it for the packaging inside here. And of course, this is what we came here for. This is the product itself. Now, this is the XPS 14. Has a little bit of heft here. You can see it on the side here. It's a pretty nice feeling. It's a very substantial feeling. Very little give in the lid here, in the chassis. It's actually really rock solid. And very, very premium feel. Let's do the useless test of the day. You know what that is. It's the one-handed open test. It is all aluminum and glass, of course. Wow. You know what? I'm glad they sent over this this graphite. It is absolutely stunning. Now, what you're seeing in this flashing is not flashing in real life. It's just the PWM of this capacitive row. We'll talk more about that. But it is absolutely gorgeous here. You can see it here. Wow. So this is the graphite. And let's get a look at the back lid over here. Very, very nice. Wow, that is really sleek looking. Now, let's, before we do anything else, let's close it up for the moment. And let's bring out the scale. And we're going to get a weight here. Very premium feel to it so far. All right, so with just the unit alone, let's put it into kilograms, as we have 140 of you watching. 1.774 kilograms, and that is 3 pounds, 14.6 ounces. A little bit of heft for a 14-inch, right? But again, we have that discrete GPU option in this. All right, let's put it back into kilograms. Now, let's get a travel weight. This is the power cord, pretty compact power adapter. That brings it up to 2.091 kilograms, and that is 4 pounds, 9.5 ounces. A pretty nice package to take with you on the go, especially if you want to do things like video editing in DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro. This is definitely going to get the job done. All right, let's turn that off. Well, hopefully it'll get the job done. I would assume it does, but you know, we'll see. And then again, very good build quality. You can see it here. That's the thickness. Very, very nice. Let's see if there's any lid flex or anything on the display. Let's feel the display here. Oh, hardly any give on the display. No flex on the display. Very, very nice. Now, As far as the brightness here, let's bring it up. Wow, this is a very vibrant display. 3.2K resolution, 3200, what is it, by 2000? Let's go check this out for a minute. And let's go to the display settings here. And I'm going to actually plug it into my USB dock, Thunderbolt dock here, because I'll show you the ports in a moment. I forgot to do that, but I want to show you what I'm doing here. It is an HDR display, but I won't enable that yet. So if we go here, you can see the display settings here. And right now it is 3200 by 2000. Now let's go into the advanced display settings. Right now it's set to 120 hertz, but you can do dynamic. So that is what you can do. Let's keep it at the 120. That's the smoothest. That's the most fluid. It also uses the most battery, of course, but that is where we are. We'll get to your comments and questions, but before we do that, let's get a look at the ports. Okay, let's set that up here. And on the left side, we're going to start there. You get two USB Type-C Thunderbolt 4 ports that are full function, supporting data, charge, and display out. Okay. On the right side, you get a micro SD card reader, not a full size, so just keep that in mind. You get another USB Type-C, I believe it's also a Thunderbolt 4 port, and it should also be full function, and a 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack. And of course, you do get that dongle in the box that gives you HDMI and USB-A. So you do get some of the missing ports, so they didn't forget about you in case you need some legacy ports and so forth. And let's get a look at this very beautiful keyboard. Again, you get the all-glass deck here. I believe this is Gorilla Glass. And this is where the touchpad is. Of course, it's between the alt buttons. And it is a haptic touchpad. And our good friends over at Sensel, I know, are one of the suppliers of the haptics in terms of the touchpad here. So it should be very good. And if it's anything like the one we saw on the XPS 16, it should be very good. Again, you have the capacitive row. We'll talk about that in the full review. If you're a coder, if you're a programmer, you probably are not going to want this. You're going to probably want a physical escape key, I'm sure. But for those who are just doing casual use or want something that looks great, take with you on the go, that is just going to be just a stunner in terms of the looks, this might be the way to go. Let's give a listen to the keyboard here. Now, the lines you're seeing are from it's from my camera. Let me, I'm going to have to adjust that. Give me a second. Okay, that should work better. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And now you won't see those lines. Again, it's the, with OLED, you're using PWM here. It does have screen flickering and so forth. So I had to adjust the camera there. All right, so this is a touch display. It's 3200 by 2000. You can see it here. This is what it looks like. A beautiful display here. I mean, it really is gorgeous. It's one of those things you have to see in real life. Now, it does come in a non-touch full HD option. This is not that, but it is a pretty nice looking display. It's also very glossy. You can see the display here. It is glossy. I do have a lot of lights here, folks, so just keep that in mind. The keyboard felt good. Now, I'm a big fan of this keyboard. I actually like it. I know some people may not like it. It looks deceiving. It actually has more key travel than you might imagine. It is very satisfying. It's a very, how should I put it? If you're typing long documents and everything, I like it. I used it on the 16-inch. I used it on the 13 Plus. I haven't used it yet on this 14-inch, but my guess is it's going to be very similar in that regard. Now, let's put it back over here. And let's get to some of your comments and questions here. Very few ports. Again, they do give you the dongle. No normal USB. When you say normal, I'm assuming what? USB-C is a normal port now. USB-A is a legacy port. Are they still using the soft carbon fiber inside? No. This is a glass and metal design. This is I believe this is Gorilla Glass on this deck here. So for those wondering, that's certainly what the materials are, and it does hold up very well, by the way. So there it goes. Is the Dell XPS going to be part of the Snapdragon Elite series if they adapted it? That would be lovely. I don't know, but from what I understand, that Dell is one of the brands that will be making or will be adopting the Snapdragon X Elite processor. So the new processor coming up, the Snapdragon Elite series, that hopefully will come to this series. That would be amazing if they did. It is aluminum, it's also glass, and so forth. So it's a very premium, well-built machine here. GPU power of the Intel is near the power. So the GPU power of Intel is near the power of the 4050, 30 watts here. It looks like 4050 is the third leg. All right, so let's take a look to see the NVIDIA graphics here, the control panel here, and I can probably hook this back up here to my Thunderbolt dock. And let's take a look at it together. Let it load in here. Give it a second. Yeah, there you go. And that's going to load in here. And we're going to take a look at the exactly what you can expect from the graphics here. So this is the NVIDIA control panel. And let's put the system information. And what you're looking at here, so they're saying here maximum graphics power 40 watts. Now the specs say 30 watts, but this is capable, according to this, of 40 watts. Does it have dynamic boost? Yes. Does it have advanced Optimus? No. But that's interesting. It's saying 40 watts here. Okay, so that's good to know. And let me put it on me for a second here. Let me load it up to my network. Let me get it onto my network, I should say. And let me connect. Good. Okay. So we're connected to the network. Let me get to sync with, I hate this Edge crap. I'm not signing into that account. Start without your data, confirm and continue. Continue without this data, confirm and start browsing, yada, yada, yada. All right, I'm going to go to Geekbench. Let's get a Geekbench going. Again, just take it with a grain of salt, of course. Let me download Geekbench 6. Okay, and let's see, where are we? There we go, download. I'm going to also have to make sure it's on the highest performance settings, but let's download that for Windows. Let's make sure this, and I'm going to plug into the high wattage adapter here, the 100 watt. I actually have one here already. I'm just going to use that from Dell. I have another one here. I'm going to put it on the best performance here. You can see what I'm doing. And let's close that. And I'm going to go to the My Dell app. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's get this spread out. I'm not helping you improve. So let's go to My Dell. What the hell happened there? Did I hit the wrong thing? As usual, let that load in for the first time. Trying to do too many things at once. Let's go to the downloads. Let's get that going as well. Say yes. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that's doing that. Let's see what this is doing. Let's finish that. Let's close that. Got to get My Dell going so we can get that. All right, so let's keep going. Yeah, thank you, Raphael, for letting everybody know. Late here, Kev, how you doing? I have the 2015 MacBook Pro. I want to replace this Dell or the MacBook Air 15. Well, take a look at that for $1,500. I do not recommend the MacBook Air. If you can, go to a MacBook Pro. I would stay with MacBook Air. It's not a good bang for your buck, as far as I'm concerned. Unless you must have something from Apple, I would go MacBook Pro. I don't think it's a good value. You're not getting much for that money. Again, $1,500, that means you're getting 8 gigabytes of RAM, if that's what you're telling me, unless you're getting it somehow. Is that the M2? Okay, so the M2 is a little bit more palatable. It's a little bit more palatable, but as far as that is concerned, I would make sure that you stay away from anything with 8 gigabytes of that unified memory. I'm sorry. And I know a lot of the Apple fans got upset with me because I said the 2 terabytes of storage for $600 is a complete ripoff by Apple, and everybody got upset. They said, well, you wouldn't do that with a luxury brand like Hermes. Well, I'm not, I have Hermes. I've got Rolex. I've got all luxury brands. I drive a luxury car. That doesn't mean it gives a company permission to gouge their clients, and it should be okay. And you should ask yourself, if you are buying this, if you're buying it, and then you are paying that premium, you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? And to me, it's not. I'm probably gonna have to restart this because this is not. This my Dell. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. Let's close the Geekbench and let's restart it because it's the first time, and we'll see how that's going to work. Because that my Dell app should be loading in, and I want to make sure we're in the proper settings. Is the Asus VivoBook 15 OLED with Ryzen RTX 4060 should be a good laptop. I don't have it. Hopefully, I'll get it soon, but I don't have it right now. Franklin Silva's here. How are you? Okay. Thanks for this video. I want this laptop, but I think it's more expensive than the MacBook Air M3. See my review. Yeah, this is going to be $2,300. This doesn't compete with the MacBook Air. Let me be clear. This competes with and I would say the MacBook Pro 14 with the M3 Pro. That's where I would slot this in. MacBook Air, no. MacBook Air is a mid-tier at best, as far as I'm concerned. I know it's very popular. I know all the Apple fanboys got upset at me, but I just told it like I call it. I see it like it is, and that's just what the deal is on that. All right. In my opinion, the best laptops are the Legions. Okay, from Lenovo. Best money for powerful hardware. Yeah, I can't argue with that. And of course, there's an update. You got to love Windows, right? So, Windows has its faults, and it has its good sides and a lot of bad stuff. But you know what? I'm glad they are updating it here. We'll skip this for now. All right. Sorry to see you go. What? Yeah, I don't know what that was about. All right. So let's try to get the My Dell app open this time. Sometimes it just takes a restart. So, and again, this has to load in. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of wonky. Power. There's the power. And let's put it on the ultra performance mode. All right, now we're in the ultra performance. We're in the performance mode on the Windows side. Now we can load in Geekbench. Let's load in Geekbench. Let's say yes. Okay. Happening live and in the flesh. The Sultan of Silicon is here, folks. Yes, it is me, Andrew. Okay, so see later. All right. Okay, 32 gigabytes of RAM, by the way. Gotta like that. So that was the other thing. If you want to compare this to MacBook Air, which you should, that's a mid-tier laptop, that mid-range, that is maxed out at 24 gigabytes, for those wondering. And that's another, I think, $200 or $400. I don't remember. They're gouging you. Will you consider a Galaxy Book 4 Pro instead of this? No. I'm not a big fan of the Galaxy Book 4 Pro. See my reviews of the Ultra, the 360, and the 14. Of all of those, I like the 14 the best. Still not great. I felt like it was a lazy outing by Samsung here in 2024. They didn't correct a lot of the things I want them to correct. They didn't go premium the way I wanted them to. No haptic touchpad. Great display. Too much screen wobble still, although better than last year. Still a glossy display, but they put a nice anti-reflective coating on it. But no, I'm not going to recommend that. Uninspired. It was premium, but uninspired. It's really what it is. Just see my review. So I'm just going to call it like it is. This is the way I roll here. So I upset a lot of the Samsung Knights, a lot of the Apple fanboys, but I love Samsung. I love my S24 Ultra. I've showed it many times. I use it all the time. I use it every day. So I didn't mean to say Galaxy. What did you mean to say? Is it just me or the Galaxy laptops are uninspired? Just the Samsung laptops? No, well, I mean, I only checked out the Galaxies. They are the Galaxy Book 4 Pro line. There's the non-Pro line. So you're correct in that regard. Yeah, big turnout, Keyboard G. It's looking good. So we're doing our first test, and again, of course, I didn't do any updates. There was one small update when we restarted, but other than that, we'll see. We got commercial pilot, just a Samsung. Okay, Tim Apple is spoiled. Okay, brand new laptops always take a while to complete background tests. Absolutely. No, I mean, the Samsung, right. So we got the Galaxy Book line. That's the one we focused on. It was a very uninspired outing this year. The F keys becoming digital killed it for me. I'd rather have the Dell Latitude. Stay tuned. We may have stuff on that soon. You know, again, if you are and look, by the way, when I change the camera now, it is better now. So you don't see the flashing, although in real life it's static. And by the way, the other thing that's new is that it goes off after 5 minutes now. That you can control in the BIOS, I believe, or in the settings somewhere. No McAfee. I don't think so. But, you know, you never know. It could rear its ugly head. But I don't think so on their flagship. I hope not. We'll see. You know, this is a beautiful laptop. The question becomes is it form over function is the question. I don't know. Now the 16-inch was very powerful. It had a 4070. It had the new design. It had a much more powerful GPU, a 4070, which you could also get a 4080. Here, they're going to limit that to a 4050, and I would assume that's because of the chassis here, the size. It looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely gorgeous. You can see the back of this. I have the graphite, loving it. Loving it. Now we'll see how the fingerprints is. So far, I don't see really that many fingerprints on it, but it's looking good so far. And they reduced the price. So let's, while this is running, let's bring that up for those that are joining us late. So right now, the way it's configured, I have it here for $2,400. That's about $400 less than the initial asking price. Because if we go here, so it used to be the starting price, I think, was $16.99, but don't quote me on that. It could be $17.99. Now it's $14.99. I'm not sure if it's $17.99 and then went down to $14.99 or was $16.99 down to $14.99. Then the one we have here, which is the Ultra 7, that's going to bring you, and with the RTX 4050 and the 3.2K OLED touch, $2,400, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's about $400 less as well. And the good news is for the bigger brother, the 16-inch, that has now a starting price of $16.99. They reduced that price. And the one we looked at was $3,400, is now down to $28.99. Links for everything, of course, in the description below. Now, hopefully I'll be getting the Yoga Pro 9i at some point. I do expect to get that, so stay tuned. And we have our first look at the result here, and you can see it here as I take that off. 2260 single core, okay, 12,352 multi-core. And that, of course, is pretty consistent with what we've been seeing with Meteor Lake. Now, the Meteor Lake processor, I hit the wrong button there. Give me a second. So the Meteor Lake, the problem with the Meteor Lake, and let me unplug that for now, is not great single core. No improvement, maybe a step back in single core. I would say decent multi-core. Hopefully the thermals will come through here. Now I'm going to plug in my Dell charger here. Now I think this one's 130 watts, but it does come with 100 watts, which should be more than enough for the 4050. And I'm going to plug it into that side one. Yep, it's charged. It's showing that it's plugged in. And I am going to run the graphics performance test here, the OpenCL. Let's run that. Oops, wrong one. Let me cancel that. We just did that one. In fact, I'm going to have to reduce. This is why I realized I needed to do. Let me reduce the scaling. That was the thing I wanted to do. Let's put 225. Let's see if that works. Yeah, now we can see the whole thing. Boom. Okay, let's run the GPU. All right, Best Buy has the XPS 15 at $1,500. What Mac do you compare with the XPS 15? MacBook Pro. MacBook Pro. What do you think about the mouse or trackpad? Is it a love or hate thing? I like it. I used it, and in fact, on the 16-inch, and I think I mentioned it in the review, the one I had, and I checked the information on the drivers and all that. It is the Sensel. I sent it back to Dell, but the Sensel haptic touchpad, and I'm hoping this is a Sensel one as well. We'll check. I'll make sure I'll check that. I thought it was a big improvement over the 13 Plus from last year, and I thought that was very good. I would say MacBook Pro 14 with the M3 Pro or the M3. The M3 is not quite as powerful. I think maybe the M3 Pro might be the one. I don't know. Maybe it's like teetering between the M3 and the M3 Pro as far as what competes with this. 66,211. Now, just to put that into perspective, I think we saw on the MacBook Air on the same test, I think 51,000 or 50,000. On the metal test, I think it did better. You know, it was a little bit better, but the MacBook Air didn't have great graphics as far as I'm concerned. It's good for the Mac stuff. If you're going to do Final Cut Pro, it'll be fine. Let me take screenshots of this. Hold on. Okay. And see, I'm using the function row, and it's not a problem. See, the Windows and print screen, I have no problem with it. Again, no physical escape key might be an issue for some people. You never know. Pete, good to see you, has the MacBook Air M3 and it runs Windows via Parallels like a champ. Yeah, it should work very well if you run, I guess, Windows on ARM, which, by the way, I think I read today that they're optimizing Chrome. Google is finally bringing Chrome as a native application. You get advertisements for it. Okay. Parallels. Yeah, you can run Windows on the MacBook Air. You can, and it could run it very well, maybe even better than Windows, than the Windows machine, like an Intel-based machine. But again, it's Windows on ARM. Just keep that in mind. Yes, finally Chrome for ARM. Yes, Keyboard G. And I look forward to checking out some of the Snapdragon Elite processors that are coming. Dave Hagan, good to see you. Your YouTube colleague, Just Josh, who's, I don't know if he's still here, gave a pretty harsh review of these new XPS. Yeah, go check out Josh's video. It's very good. I enjoyed watching it. You know, Josh was very critical of the pricing, and rightfully so. As I showed you, they reduced the price, thankfully, and I said they were going to do that. So yeah, Josh was very critical of the price, and of course, I don't think he liked the capacitive row. Okay, it's not going to be for everybody. This is a very premium device. It's going to be it's less expensive than it was originally, but yeah. So my channel for fun is saying 1946 single core score, 10,730 multi-core on the MacBook M3 Pro. Those seem a little low. But again, and then you're looking at, is that Geekbench? I guess 150, everyone's thumbs up. Yeah, thank you, Keyboard G. Yeah, they had to reduce the prices. Now, let me tell you, what Apple's doing with their MacBook Air M3 shenanigans, it's a travesty. And by the way, the Department of Justice is investigating them, right? So, rightfully so. If only I could pimp out my 2015 MacBook Pro 15-inch, that chassis Ultra Classic. Yeah, you know, they had some good designs. I don't know. I think this design is pretty spectacular. I love it. But we'll see how it's all going to turn out. So these were the Geekbench results here. I don't know what to do next. Do you want me to let me bring over some of the benchmarks here. Let me go to my downloads. Oh, I have to plug that in. We'll plug it on this side. Okay. We have a lot of you watching, so make sure you do hit that thumbs up. We have 177 watching, 63 likes. Okay. Microsoft changed who is leading Windows this week. New head and hopefully more pro-consumer changes like more AI. Oh, by the way, nobody noticed, but I'm sure some of you might have. They did a commercial event, not a consumer event, enterprise event, I guess. They did a Surface Pro 10 for enterprise or for, I guess they call for enterprise, I'm not sure. And then a Surface Laptop 6. Oh, sorry, a little boring. Oh, I think we want to see the Snapdragon one, right? Apple is too expensive. Their upgrades are ridiculous, by the way. However, I think for $1,500 on Best Buy, the 15-inch Air, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte is decent. Is that the one with the M2, or is that the M3 already on sale? On sale, it makes it a little bit better, but don't tell me that if I want to go from, let's say, it starts at $1,700, right? For the one you definitely should buy, not the other two SKUs. Anything with 8 gigabytes should not even be a thought in your mind. Anybody who buys that is insane and is a sucker and falls into Apple's trap. What you need to do is go to the one, the third tier, right? So that's the one I got, 16 gigabytes of unified memory, 512 gigabytes of storage, which is a travesty. I mean, how could you offer a laptop for $1,700 plus tax? That's $1,820 here, 8.3% sales tax here. For $1,820, I don't even have a terabyte of storage. I don't have 32 gigabytes of RAM. For the same price, or actually a lot less money, I should say, not the same, a lot less money, you can get the Asus ZenBook 14 OLED that I looked at. That's $1,300, 32 gigabytes of RAM, I think a terabyte of storage. And I think for the HP Spectre, which is on sale, that's $400 off. And I think the one for 32 gigabytes of RAM and I think it has 2 terabytes of storage and the OLED display and all that, that's at like $1,500. And that to me blows that away, blows the MacBook Air away. Sorry, that's the way I feel. Now, MacBook Air has some great things going for it. You have great battery life, phenomenal battery life. You saw the numbers in my review. It runs cool. It's silent. You don't have to deal with fan noise. That's a big plus in my book. It's got I would say a pedestrian display, as I mentioned in the video, only 60 hertz. You don't even get a high refresh rate display. So Apple calls it their liquid retina display. It's just a plain old IPS display with some fancy marketing name on it. That's all it is. Not that great. Not even the greatest color accuracy, good coverage of the color gamut, but I've seen better on OLED. No mini LED like you get on the MacBook Pro, but I don't have to tell you. You already know this. Now, then everybody tells me, well, oh, you have to understand that people are buying it for the Mac OS. Okay, that's fine. You can stay in the Apple ecosystem. You can love the Apple ecosystem, but it doesn't give a company a license to rip off their customers to charge $600, and I am not exaggerating, $600 plus tax to go from 512 gigabytes to 2 terabytes. They can, you know what? They can kiss my ass with that. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I know I get angry. I mean, they do it with a straight face, and the people line up and buy it. This is what's just insane. Are people insane? Where's your common sense? Very little change, but I found it interesting that they changed it. I don't know what you're talking about. Mini LED has issues, though. Still great for productivity. Yeah, I loved it. I love it on my MacBook Pro. We're not talking about the MacBook Pro, which has its own pricing issues. But I think it's a better, if you're going to buy a MacBook, I would skip unless you can buy it on sale, buy the M1 MacBook Air at Kmart or Walmart, I'm sorry, which is like $600 or $700. Okay, now you're talking about Apple or ripoff. They're ripping their customer off. They're ripping their customers off. And Dell, we called out Dell. Josh called out Dell. I called him out. I said it was expensive in my review. I wasn't as demonstrative, but, you know, we got the point home. But they just reduced the price. So now we're seeing more in line what we expect to see, big reductions in price, making this more palatable. Just a confirmation, I found the HP Spectre 14, 32 RAM, 2 terabytes of storage, which is $18.99. I saw it $400 off at Best Buy. So I don't know if that's over that sale, if you took advantage. I don't know what the deal is. But if you can get that model for $14.99, I think I saw it for $1,500. What a much better deal, much better bang for the buck. Pen support, gorgeous OLED display, premium design, haptic touchpad, which you get on that. It's really good. The keyboard's phenomenal. I like it a lot better than the MacBook Air. I'm not a big fan, by the way, of the MacBook keyboards. I've told you that. So the sale, watch the links in the description below because you want to make sure you get the sale. But enough of that. what do you get here? We get a really nice design at a reduced price. And I think now we're in line with the pricing that we want to see. And I have no idea, according to Dave, why Apple insists on soldering SSDs. Oh, I got to tell you this. Yeah, I agree. So they solder everything, so you're trapped. You have no choice but to get a usable, the 8 gigabyte models are not usable as far as I'm concerned. It's in 2024. So you have to go, and 256, don't even get me started on the SSD. So I got a comment. It might be the comment of the year. Let me put it on me. It might be the comment of the year. So I did my MacBook Air review, and I'm even laughing now because I can't believe. So I guess the person I hope was joking. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. It's hard, when in text. So they left a comment saying, you're making too much about the fact that everything's soldered in. There's no upgradability. You could always unsolder the RAM, and you could always unsolder the SSD from the motherboard. And so my response was, you're kidding, right? I mean, I thought he was a joke, but I don't think he was joking. I think this person actually thought this is an actual viable option for people. And by the way, most people that are buying that are not going to be soldering things or unsoldering things. Are you kidding me? By the way, you'd void the warranty. That goes without saying. And you probably burn your house down if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, if that person said that with a straight face, God bless them. They're going to need all the help in this world because there's no words. There's no words. Solder. So Apple solders everything in because they want you to buy their upgrades. Their upgrades are price gouging, basically. They're price gouging their customers. Okay, enough with that. All right, whew. You just get me on the rant, man. Woo! And the Apple fanboys were in full effect on my video. Check it out. All right, so let me bring over some of these benchmarks and so forth, just to get an idea of things. I'll do the full testing, everything in the upcoming review, as we have a lot of you tonight here. It's been a wild one, so to speak. So we'll move those over here. I'll test the thermals here. We'll run Cinebench R23. I'll do 2024. I'll save that for the review. Sourdough bread. Yeah, you're right, my friend. How many Red Bulls did you have before the stream? How many Red Bulls did I have? No, I don't need Red Bulls. I have my water here. If I could put it on the right camera. But it was almost like I killed their favorite ant or something when I told it like I saw it. I mean, but the people went crazy. Fan noise will be an interesting characteristic of the XPS 14, especially with discrete graphics. Right now, Dave, I don't hear anything. It's pretty quiet, but we're not doing anything. But I'm sure once we do something of some significance, we'll hear it. So let's do the Cinebench real quick. This is an old test, but it's a quick and dirty one. Let's just get the Cinebench R15, which is an older test. I'm a XPS 17 user, RTX 2060. The fan noise is very low at load, which is nice when you work with others at a desk. So we want it quiet, but we also don't want to sacrifice performance, right? So it's a balance. It's a balancing act. So the engineers have to figure out the thermals. They have to figure out. And by the way, let's take a look. Well, that's loading in. Let's take a look at the internals here. This is the internals, but this is, of course, of the platinum versions. Well, I have the graphite, but as you can see here, there is upgradable SSDs, or one SSD. There's no two, there's one, which, by the way, is great, right? So you could upgrade it. You need more storage. You can get it on Amazon or wherever, and you don't have to spend $600. So you could actually theoretically buy the 512 gigabyte model here and just upgrade it yourself and save a bunch of money. Take your girl out or your guy or whatever for a nice vacation somewhere for that price. And then the RAM is soldered in. Okay, I'm not a big fan of that, but you do get the 7467 megahertz RAM. That's the faster RAM. And there you go. MacBook, forget about it. Capiche? Forget about it. Come on. Spend thousands of dollars and need to unsolder what, but Windows laptop makers are also soldering RAM. Not all of them, but yes, a lot of them are. And we're seeing it here on the Dell. Apple has been cooked. What is that? Cooked? I don't know what you're saying, but I think I kind of understand what you mean. I have the XPS 15. Should I sell that thing and upgrade? It just depends. Okay, here's the thing. What do you do? Are you a coder or are you a programmer? I would say stay away because you might want physical function row. I mean, it just depends on where you are. Yeah, the two fans are always good, especially with the GPU on this. You want that. Yeah, it's very clean, right? Very clean looking inside. What's the best laptop for LGBT? What do you mean, for the lesbian gay community? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I guess Apple? I don't know. Maybe I had too much Red Bull. I don't know. Is it true? Oh, sorry about that. Is it true that the DDR5 soldered is more performant than the power efficient than the SODIMM DDR5? So when it's soldered in, it will be faster. You will get the faster RAM. Whether it's a physical limitation of it being on there or not on there with the SODIMM versus being soldered on. I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but I can tell you it is faster RAM. That is the silver lining. Everybody's laughing. LBG. I don't know. Is that LBG QT or whatever? I don't know. I keep getting lost in all that. All I know, it's probably Apple because it has like a rainbow color, which is fine. I mean, of course, that's good. You know, they should have their own to look up to Apple and so forth. Anyway, I should stop talking. Distance away from the CPU can affect RAM speed. Right. It makes sense, right? It's logical. How do you check if the XPS trackpad is made by Sensil? So you have to go. I have the email from Sensil. You go. Actually, let me. I don't know if I can do it on air, but I think if you go into the driver settings. So if I go to the. Actually, maybe let's try that. Let's see. So if I go, it's where is it? If I go into here. I'll have to do it offline. I will let you know if you have the Sensil or not. There's a way to tell. Because they're not the only manufacturer doing that. So I promise I'll do it. All right, let's. Did I ever get that downloaded? Yeah. So let's go here. And let me go to Cinebench R15. Let me load that in. It's a fast test, by the way. I bought the Spectre. The box says IMAX Enhanced, but it doesn't have the sticker. It is IMAX Enhanced. I found out it is. You have it. They just didn't put the sticker on it. I spoke to HP about that. It is IMAX Enhanced. As always from me, no glossy screen. Yeah, this is glossy. Not too bad. I mean, I do have a lot of studio lights here, but you can see the gloss here. There's no question. All right. Some people want glossy, but, I'm not the biggest fan. So this is the OpenGL. This is going to test the graphics here. Of course, it's the RTX 4050. Now, according to the NVIDIA control center, I should say, it said 40 watts of graphics power total. But according to Dell, I don't know if they're limiting it to 30. We'll have to look into that. Not sure. I'm a big fan of matte displays, that's for sure. We need community. We need community in Discord. Yeah, I have the Discord. I have to get going on that again. If you've noticed a better thermal fan profile with this laptop, prior generations of XPS. So I hear it a little bit. Maybe you can hear it. Let me put it on the other microphone. Let's give it a listen. So it's not very loud. In fact, I can probably bring this on as well, but we'll use this. Let's see how, actually, you know what? Let's do it. Why not? Right now it's doing about 44. Which is okay. I mean, you'll notice it. you'll notice it. All right, that's 173 on that. Let's run the CPU test. Seems like it's pretty zippy. It's running through it pretty nicely. Glossy is fine in dark room. Watching movies is, I guess, better. 4 pounds for 14 was acceptable in 2016. It feels, you'll feel it a little bit, the half, but I got to tell you, it feels like a nice piece of hardware. 2464. All right, let me take a screenshot. All right, so that's the Cinebench R15. Let me close that. And then let me go to the downloads. Let's load in, you know what? Let's do Cinebench R23. Let me load that in, and then we can get a test of the, I'll bring out my thermal imaging camera, my FLIR, and then I will test the fan noise on that test. I'll save 3D Mark, obviously, for the full review, Cinebench 2024 for the review. I'll test all that, throttling and all that stuff. I always look for that. LG Gram is the only option I would go with. You need low weight at first. So I have, supposedly LG sending me their brand new one, but I haven't, they disappeared on me. I don't know. They said they were going to send it. I never got it. So I don't know. We'll see. But hopefully we'll get it. They're always pretty thin and light. Pretty amazing how they can get it. Go to Warzone to quiet this area. Here is noisy. I don't know what you're talking about. Thomas, no, Apple's M series is much more efficient. Oh yeah, Apple, one of the things, and that's the benefit, and I said it in the video, one of the things, and Josh is right, it's a much more efficient processor. That's why you're seeing cool, quiet, and great battery life. Yeah, Josh was here earlier. Good to see him. All right, so let's let me go to my Cinebench R23 here. Let's load that in. Good turnout, folks. I'm happy. It makes me happy. All right, so I'm gonna modify this. We're gonna make a 5-minute test so we can test this out. I could do some camera work here on the thermals, and I'm going to go to advanced here. And we're going to put it on our 5-minute custom test. So we're going to do the CPU first. Okay? Let me unplug this. We don't need that. So let me get this all set up while that's running. Let it heat up a little bit. Oh, by the way, Josh, that was a great short you did today on that Acer laptop where you're barbecuing on it. that was really funny, actually. Now, if you check it out, go to Josh's channel when you're done. When we're done, of course. That was really funny. They were cooking sausages. I don't know. That was very good. All right, so let me get my camera here. JCPenney commercial. Yeah, we got a pretty good turnout commercial. Yeah. All right, so let me get this set up. This is my thermal imaging camera. This is my Galaxy S24. So people say I don't like Samsung. You know where you can go with that, Love it. S24 Ultra for the win. So let's get that going. Yeah, Josh did the Yoga Pro 9i Future. Check it out. I hopefully will get it soon. I think Josh, you might be the only one who got it. I haven't seen anybody else with it. Okay, so let me see this here. Let me go put this over here. Okay, 39 over here, about 40 over here. Pretty cool over here. Let's, I put it on the other microphone so you could hear the fan noise. We'll do it again in a moment, but just want to let you know. on, this got unplugged by accident. Give me a second. Okay, about 45 over here. About over here. Not too warm. Not too bad. So we're going to do, and I have it on the other microphone, I know that, but we're going to keep it on that for now, just because I want to do the sound test. So let's do that right now. So about 48, 49. So definitely noticeable, but I've heard a lot worse on others, but it is noticeable. You do hear the fan noise. So that is for sure. The Pro 9 is available in the US, but sold out almost immediately. Not a surprise, Josh. Not a surprise. Gonna wait for Best Buy to get both in stock and see what I like better. Yeah, so check out Josh's review of that. I hopefully will get it soon. I can't wait because I'm a big fan of the Yoga line, of course, the Pro line. So Larry bought his XPS 16 after watching my review and has been super happy with it. I really enjoyed your review, and everything you said was spot on. I enjoy far more than my MacBook Pro 14. Okay, Larry. Fine, you know, look, we do have a positive thing, huh? Somebody says something positive. All right, Larry. Give it up for Larry. So he likes his XPS 16. Why not? It's a premium device. I mean, what's there not to like? I see every reflection in that pathetic display, Vadim. Oh, this is not a pathetic display. That's for sure. It's hard to show this, but yeah, it is a reflective. It is, but it is not a, it's a very nice display, I think. Now, I don't know, does it have the screen door effect? We'll have to test all that out. But it's hard to see it on this, but on this camera, but maybe on this one. You can see it. It's just a beautiful display. You have to see it on in person. It really is nice. Transcend 14 is on sale at Best Buy right now. So I have my Transcend 14 almost done. I have it this week. So here we have our score. I don't have it set up for that. It's 13,788. I'll leave the single core for next time. I'm not. Well, we could run it here. Let's just run it. Screw it. Still too expensive. Which one is expensive? The Transcend? Apple was really sweating after the production of the Yoga Pro 9. Yeah, I liked it last year, so I'm looking forward to testing it out. Again, Josh has it. He's reviewed it. Zephyrus G14 beats in basically every metric. That's a really good one. I liked it a lot. Again, you got to deal with fan noise, but yes, it is really good. Unless you absolutely need Intel, don't bother. What would you recommend, Exotic? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I think I can guess. Yes, this is the Sopranos. This is the tech version of the Sopranos. So make sure you behave, because I don't want to have to send somebody to straighten you out. All right, Pro 9 has terrible battery life. I doubt Apple's worried at all, considering 20 plus hours. Apple is the king of the battery life. Oh, and the sound I thought was very good on the MacBooks. MacBook Pros for sure. We'll test the sound on this one. This has quad speakers, not 6, but quad. 8 watts of total power on this. The MacBook Air was good. I thought it had good sound also. I think Paulie Walnuts, I hope he didn't die. Paulie Walnuts, who played him? I forget. Was it Dominic? I forget his name. Okay. But anyway, I hope he's still with us. Great series. If you haven't seen The Sopranos, I don't know what's wrong with you. This laptop is one of the biggest misses this year. Really? Okay. Bruce Wayne. Yeah, it was like 2200 fully loaded or something. I guess I'm picking up things late. Oh, Paulie passed away a couple of years ago. Oh, man. Paulie Walnuts is one of my favorite characters. This is anyone who did any of you guys get the 2024 Lenovo IdeaPad Pro 5i with the Core Ultra? I have it. Maybe Josh did. Tony Sirico. That's it. Tony Sirico. Great actor. He was also in Goodfellas. I don't know if you noticed, a lot of the Sopranos actors had roles in Goodfellas. I know Michael Imperioli, who played Christopher Moltisanti. He played Spider in Goodfellas. Which is my favorite movies. 2 of my favorite. You got Goodfellas, and Pulp Fiction is another one of my favorite. And then you also had the one who played Big Pussy Bumpin' Sarah. He was also in Goodfellas. A lot of them were. Carmine Lupertazzi. Hey, man, forget about it. All right. So, Exotic saying HP's lazy. I think HP hit out of the park, man. I think their HP Spectre this year is in the laptop of the year running. That's how good it was, or it is. And they are pricing it the same as the Zephyrs, which just makes it a joke. Are you talking about the Transcend? I'm lost, guys. I'm trying to keep up here. Thank you, Josh, for taking care of this chat here. Reservoir Dogs is a fantastic movie. Mr. Pink, Mr. White. Was there Mr. Brown? I don't remember, but it was great. Reservoir Dogs, for everybody seeing a Quentin Tarantino movie, it is a classic. It's a classic. And also a great cast as well. I don't know how we're talking about it because of The Sopranos. We got it. Good to see Nadine. How are you? This is a crazy live stream. We're talking Sopranos, we're talking movies, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, and of course the Dell XPS 14. A lot of the Sopranos guys were in the HBO Gotti film. Yes, and by the way, one of the best mob movies ever, or mob series, I should say, underrated. I think that's an incredible one. My Cousin Vinny is a great movie with obviously Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei, who's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I haven't seen her lately, but she's my type, put it that way. Can you test the webcam and speaker? Yes, Raphael. Are you trying to hint at something? We should have a live stream podcast of all the great laptop reviewers in one live stream in one place. Josh, Andrew, Jared's Tech. That would be great. Josh, if you're up to it, I'm up to it. And we could ask Jared as well. Jude, you're like Vinny. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Now, John is asking, why can't anyone make a 16-inch laptop that has more battery life than a 14? Why do 14s keep winning with smaller batteries? I think it has to do with the display. I think the display is a big part of that. More screen real estate, more pixels to push, more power used, right? I think that's something to do with that. Yeah, Josh, we that's a good idea. We should do it. We should do like a mega event. Mega event. Maybe if I come to Arizona or you come to Vegas or whatever, we could maybe plan something. That would be cool. I'd come for a weekend. I'd love to check out Arizona. Make it happen. Wow, people want it. People want it. A 2-hour event. Yeah, we would have to make it a special event because that would be all the big players of the laptop scene. I'm up for it. Okay. All right, we're almost there. We got our single core score, and then we'll test the camera. We'll test the sound, and we'll go from there. I already showed you the internals. No need to open it up. And again, Josh is here. Check out when you're done. We're done here. If you didn't see, I'm sure most of you have, is Dell XPS 1416 video. It is very good. Check it out. He does go a little bit... he needed therapy after that video, right, Josh? And there was one great line in there. I don't want to spoil it for those who didn't see it. It has to do with Star Wars. That's all I want to say. Great line. It's a funny video. Also very entertaining, actually. Who says laptop reviews can't be entertaining? So, and by the way, I said earlier, Josh has a great short, YouTube short today on an Acer laptop. I think it was the Nitro. Had the 15-inch MacBook Air for a little, returned it for the size and weight. Okay, you found it was too heavy? But you do like the screen size, I would imagine. So, again, I did that. The stream is entertaining. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, well, I'm struggling here to try to keep it going. I mean, I'm trying to, but this is looking good so far. Look, I love the 16. And Josh, obviously, I know you, well, I think one of your biggest problems with it, if I took away from that correctly, is the price, right? And they needed to reduce the price. So I think we're good here. I think the price is more in line. Would I like to see it cheaper? Absolutely. I'm always looking for the best deal possible. But I'm glad that Dell reduced the prices of the XPS 14 and 16. And I think that's great. Now, what I would ask Dell to do next year, instead of this capacitive row, just bring back the physical row. Apple did it. Remember when they had the touch bar, which I never used it, and I didn't really care about it, but they brought it back as far as a physical row. And I think Dell can do it. It's not impossible here. And I think one of the things is, from New York. I think one of the things is that they wanted to try something new. The line was getting stale, I think. I think the design needed to be updated. Did they go too far? Did they go more form over function? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. I can give you the numbers. I can tell you it's an absolutely gorgeous laptop, and I would personally carry this every day. I would have no issue with it. I think it looks phenomenal. Whether it looks phenomenal and performs are going to be two different things, of course. So that's where I'm going to bring you my numbers. Check out Josh's video. He brings you his, and then you can make an informed decision. How's the touchpad and palm rejection? So the touchpad so far, and the limited time that I've used it, is pretty good. Again, I don't know if this particular one has the haptics from Sensel. I'll have to look into that. So we got our score. And of course, I keep hitting the button where I don't have it connected, but it is a 1713 single core, 13,788 multi-core. Let me take a screenshot. Now, let's take a look at the camera, and then we'll take a look at the sound of it, and then we'll get an idea of that. All right, let me connect that up. So one of the things last year I was not crazy about was that 720p camera. It was a big problem, I think, in 2023 and years prior, where you already had other laptop makers going to 1080p and above. And I thought HP did a great job and all that. So here we have a 1080p camera, finally. It looks good. I have no problem. I have a lot of studio lights here. It's 1080p, 30 frames per second. Looks pretty good to me. Now, with a Meteor Lake, of course, we have the NPU. So that means a neural processing unit to do the studio effects, the AI stuff. So here you can see I can do auto framing. So it always will keep me in frame. A little slow on the uptake there, but it looks good. Yeah, it works. You got the eye contact. I never use that. And the background, right? So you could do the standard blur and then the portrait blur. So yeah, looks fine. And then no blur. Actually, the camera looks pretty good. What do you think? Let me know. But yeah, and so the NPU, if we go to the, let's see here, control, I want to go to the task manager. That's what I want. Let's go to the NPU. Let's see if it's doing anything if I put that on. So here we have, see, there's the RAM running. That's the CPU. Here's the memory. There's a 7467 dual channel. Here's the NPU. Let's see if it's going to do anything. So let's put it over here. Let me make it a little bit smaller, or can I? So if I go to the studio effects and if I put on the background blur, let's put on this one, the portrait blur, and bring this up. Let's see if it's doing anything. Yeah, it's doing something. See, it's starting to show some activity there, 20%, 19%, 20%. So it looks like the NPU is doing its thing. Now, are there other applications are going to take advantage of the NPU? Yeah, from what I hear, the Adobe Suite is going to be updated to incorporate more usage of the NPU. I'm sure the new Snapdragon Elite processors will be able to do that. We know AMD processors will have the NPU stuff going for it. So hopefully we'll see more solutions, more applications take advantage of it. All right, so let me turn that off. So that's the camera. So let's unplug this part. And I don't need this plugged in for what we're going to do. We're going to do a sound test. So we're going to make it louder, 100%. And I'm going to bring out the MacBook 14. I know I know which one's going to win. But we got to try, right? We got to keep trying. Although I got to say that, and you can see the fingerprints on the space black here. Let me clean that. This is the MacBook Pro 14. This is the M3 Max. This has 6 speakers. It's got Dolby Atmos. This has the Waves Max audio. It has the 4 speakers, 8 watts of peak power. So we'll see. Let me put it on me for a second, and then we can get the sound test going. Now, the MacBook, to me, is the best in the business. You know that. They do a great job. The audio science they put into that and all that. So let me go to Epidemic Sound. Okay. And then on this one, I'll go to the same. Let me just get signed in and then we can get it. You'll see what I'm doing. Okay. Let me go to the saved on this one. And we'll set it up and do a sound test. Always a lot of fun. Epidemic Sound. Here we go. Except let me log in. Keyboard feels good. I like the keyboard. I have no problems with it. I just love the look of this laptop. Maybe it's just me. I'm partial to the aesthetics. But again, don't get fooled. Maybe form of a function here. All right, let's go to saved. Okay, so we're going to put the volume at 100% on both. So we're on an even playing field here. I haven't done any audio adjustment on this, but let's just get it right out of the box. Let's see how it sounds, and then I'll bring you some more in the upcoming review. But let's go to the one we always like to do, and then I'm going to bring out my decibel meter here to see if we got that. Let me just rewind that. Boom. And let me go here. Okay. So let's get this set up. I'm going to, maybe use this for the video. We'll see. Let's turn that on. All right. You know what we need to do? Let's do it. Let's hear it. You know what I know? You want to know something interesting? This hit 88 decibels. This, I think, hit 87. This was actually louder, not necessarily better. I think the Mac was better, more richer, fuller sound. But that was interesting. I didn't expect that because this usually has the higher decibel meter reading than the other laptops in general. So that's pretty interesting. I noticed that for the first time. This was 88. This was in the 87s, around there. So that's pretty interesting. Let me try a different track. Just let's see, Never Meant to Be, Gloria Tells. Yeah, I think the Mac sounds better. Although, give Dell some credit, the volume was pretty good on that. It's hard to translate that in real world, or you're hearing on the stream, but I have a good microphone here. But the difference is the Mac is a fuller, richer sound than the Dell. But this has 6 speakers. Don't forget that. This has 4. So I don't know if the 2 extra speakers make a difference. The science that goes into the Mac audio sounds better. And I agree, William. Good to see you. Yeah, catch the replay. I saw you comment that earlier. Mac sounds better. Seems like that's been the consensus here, and not a surprise. Not a surprise. Is it lacking key travel? No, I think that's a deceptive thing what people don't realize. The key travelness is actually pretty good. I would say about 1.3 to 1.5 millimeters. On this one, by the way, those are grease stains. It does collect a lot of stains on the MacBook. I try cleaning it, but it just continues to collect grease and whatever residue you have on your fingers. I ate a whole bucket of chicken but you know what I'm saying. I'm not an Apple fan at all, but what does it say? But is there any worthy comparable PC to the Apple laptops? You know, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, stick with the Apple ecosystem. You know, are there good Windows alternatives? Absolutely. HP Spectre. Again, it depends on what you want to do, what you need. More than a bucket of chicken. You're not kidding. Let's see. I like hidden touchpad. I almost never use it, and this makes it designed more clean. Yeah, it's a very clean look. Obviously, it looks cleaner than this. There's no doubt about it. That looks pretty disgusting. I probably should have wiped it off. But, you know, that is pretty. It's a KFC laptop. It's hard to keep clean, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Oh, and it started the thing. Okay. Oh, man. How long have we been doing this? Let's see. We got 100 likes. So that's a good sign. Almost an hour and a half. We're going to wrap it up pretty soon, unless you want to take field more of your questions. I think Microsoft had the potential to make their own MacBook. Well, I mean, what was the Surface laptop about, right? What was the Surface Book? What was the Surface laptop? You know, I don't know where that line is going, to be honest with you. And hopefully a version with the ARM processor, the brand new one from the Snapdragon, we'll see in hopefully a couple of months or month or from here, or I don't know when we're going to see it. I think in May. I don't know when they're releasing that, but yeah. So we'll see. For Science is saying, Andrew, do you think XPS will have better product when the Lunar Lake comes out, or just Windows laptops in general at this point? So many inflated prices, rip off Samsung XPS. Well, Samsung, to me, dropped the ball. An uninspired 2024 so far. MacBook Air is just not a price. It's not priced right. So I would stay away from that. MacBook Pro, I think you're getting more for your money, although it is expensive. And then I think with the XPS at this reduced price is more attractive now. I think the fact that they reduced the XPS 14 and 16 speaks volumes. So that's good. So we'll see. But yeah, these are expensive. This is expensive. I spent $3,100 on this. This is expensive. This was sent by Dell, by the way. I'm not being paid or sponsored, just so you know. They did send this over. This is a review unit. Once this review is done, it's going back. So I already sent the XPS 16 back. So these are very expensive. They're premium designs. They're built very well. You feel the premiumness when you hold these laptops. So what's there to say? You're in the Mac ecosystem. You're in the Windows ecosystem. There's a lot of choices here. Yes, 2024 is very expensive all around. I think across the board, we're seeing a 25 to 30% increase in prices. And it's good to see Dell reducing the price. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm glad that it is reduced. I'm loaded. I wouldn't put it that way. Not from this channel, that's for sure. I could tell you that. One of the best tech reviews deserves the bag. Show me where the bag is, my friend. That would be great. I'd love the bag. Show me the bag. Where is the bag? Andrew wants the bag. Okay.
Show Andrew the bag. Okay? Where's the bag?
I hope that sounds good. I don't have headphones on, so I don't know what it sounds like. I'm just playing around here. Hopefully it sounded like something. Let's see. What else do I have here? Got the applause going. Did you get sound distortion on your XPS 14? No, actually I didn't. That was the other thing I noticed. It didn't sound as good as the MacBook. I'm going to be clear, but sounded good. Sounded good. That's PewDiePie stuff. What about the screen? All right, let's talk. The screen looks good. The screen looks good. I mean, so let's compare the touch displays. Oh, right. This doesn't have a touch display. Okay, yeah. It feels good. You can scroll around. You could do pinch to zoom, which is always handy. This, you have to use the touchpad. Touchpad is really good on the Mac. You know how I always feel like the Mac gets flowers when I want to give flowers. And that, of course, means that we're going to give it the flowers for excellent touchpad, excellent battery life, really nice mini LED display. But it is also glossy. They're both glossy. This is OLED. Deeper blacks, more vibrant colors, maybe. I'm a big fan of OLED, but again, mini LED is good too. We saw it on the Yoga Pro 9i. Through USB speakers or through USB hub. I don't know what she's talking about. Naomi? We played it through I'm not even sure what you're talking about. What touchpad do you prefer? Whew, that's a tough one. This is working out well. I think I prefer the MacBook touchpad in general. I think they've got this down to a science. This is the Sensor. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure until I look at it. But if this is a Sensor, it's working well. Either way, seems like it's working very well. Scrolling seems working. Let's see. Yeah, it looks good. And the haptics are good. The good news is you can fine tune it in the settings. So you can make the adjustments. Same here. This is really good. I think Apple does. I think Apple's 1 and this is like 1A. That's what I think that's the way I would look at it. Latest firmware. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Naomi's saying, I have a 2024 XPS 14 and have an odd issue. USB speakers connected to USB hub. connected to the right USB port causes distortion in playback. That might be the speakers that you have. But USB-C, let me put that back on. But the left ports are fine. So it could be something to do with that right port. Maybe. And you have the latest firmware. That's interesting. If Dell, if you're watching, maybe you can have some insight, share some insight to that. Oh, and we got a super chat from our good friend. Oh, come on, Josh. You didn't need to do that. If you believe Macs are better, donate to Andrew. If you believe Windows are better, donate to Andrew. Linux still donate. Very good, Josh. Thank you so much. Great supporter of the channel. He's got an amazing channel, of course. And hopefully we'll collaborate on something very good coming up. So we'll see. But thank you so much for that. Yeah, we got a price drop. We did get a price drop. So I'll bring that up again. So if I skip ahead here, let me bring this to you here. Let me pause that. So what this is saying here, look, XPS 14 starts at $14.99. Then you go to $23.99 as configured here today. What does that mean? Well, that means that this is down $400 already from the initial price, because I think it was $17.99 or $69. I can't remember. And then this was definitely like $300 or $400 less now than it was before. The XPS 16, I know for sure, was $3,400 when I reviewed it. It's now down to $28.99, which I think is more in line. So yeah, I think the Macs are Linux underneath. It really is. Chrome OS is balls. So the pricing has gotten a little bit better. So I will say that. So the pricing has definitely gotten better. I don't know which camera that is. And I don't know why. What the hell is going on here? What is that? Where's my cameras? What is that? And that may be our sign to leave. That's what it might be. Wow, I don't know where our camera went, but it is the Matrix telling me it's time to go. Can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me okay. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. I don't know. I lost the cameras, but it was a good live stream, people, and I will see you next time. We're in the Matrix, and hopefully follow the light, people. Follow the light. See you soon. All right, I'm going to head out here. We're done. Lost the cameras. Anyway, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.